Well, friends, it's happened. The future has arrived. For too long have we been imprisoned by flesh and blood. For too long has medicine impotently attempted to cure the ills of our imperfect bodies. Join me, strange doctor, in the metaverse of madness, and imagine consultations of the future.
An NFT project focused on evolving virtual healthcare.
We are Medlife, an NFT project with real utility,
working to close the gap between the real world and virtual healthcare,
while prioritizing charitable giving,
bringing good to the metaverse.
Founded by docs who love NFTs and Web3.
Good people doing good things.
Welcome to MetaDocs.
Good people doing good things. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm convinced, and I want to invest. Welcome to the 10 million rupee studio. If you're not sure what we're talking about today, I'm not really sure either, but I've already filled out at least half the boxes on my Web3 medtech jargon bingo card, so let's watch another clip.
What's a metadoc?
Metadoc? What's that?
Hold on, a meta what? Hang on, so it's an NFT that helps with healthcare? How does that work?
wow, it's charitable to autism.
MetaDocs is an NFT project focused on healthcare and charity.
Imagine living in Florida and getting a second opinion virtually from a Boston doctor about your upcoming shoulder surgery while they examine you from the metaverse.
MetaDocs is an NFT project working to revolutionize healthcare and charitable giving.
Best of all, MetaDocs NFTs gives one-on-one access to well-known doctors across social media and the country.
And when we mint, we will donate 1 million to charity after sellout.
And let me tell you something, it doesn't stop there. We will continue to donate 20% of our royalties to charity as well.
And with all that newfound funding, we will begin the process of revolutionizing the healthcare experience virtually.
Imagine a doctor in Denver giving charitable healthcare to a community virtually in Malawi using haptic gloves and biometric data.
We dream for that day, we work for that day. Welcome to MetaDocs.
Yes, I have frequently wondered about the citizens of Malawi's main problem being a lack of access to remote consultations rather than, say, lack of access to sanitation. But okay, this is a kind of telemedicine. Well, audio and video consultations are already pretty commonplace, especially since the pandemic kind of rushed the technology through, so I'm not quite sure how the metaverse is going to make it a betterverse.
I see. Show me on your avatar where it hurts. Now hold your microphone up to your chest. Okay, now while I put my haptic examination gloves on, please bend forward and carefully align yourself with the Prostate-O-Matic 3000 home probe.
I'll be honest, I'm a little bewildered to see some people I know on this list. The first thing I should say here is that I've got no idea what any of these doctors, many of whom I'm sure you recognize, were told about the project. I've spoken to two of them, two that I know, and they haven't said much, but I have been told that NFTs and a share of the coins were offered, dependent on how much involvement they had in the project, and please be aware that at least one person, probably more, has already dissociated themselves from the project even before I had shared it on Twitter because they felt it was a bit shady, so please don't jump to any conclusions about anyone you see, and of course I'm not alleging any unscrupulous or illegal activity at all, but it does seem a bit odd, right? The second thing to say is that I'm now feeling sorely inadequate as I don't have my own name embroidered into my scrubs, nor do I have a fancy set. I mean, this guy even has a neon sign saying Medlife. Wouldn't it be nice to buy something like that for the wall? Kind of like an analog NFT. And I've not done loads of research into NFTs like Dan Olsen or CoffeeZilla. I do not profess any great knowledge of NFTs at all, but can someone please explain why the artwork is invariably so laughable? It feels like we're back in the 90s. Let's take a look at the MetaDocs website for any other information. Exclusive access to world-renowned doctors. Holding a MetaDocs NFT gives you access to an all-star network of world-famous doctors. Immediately access high-demand doctors via one-on-one or group AMA sessions along with direct messaging communication. Plastic surgeon, dermatologist, emergency medicine, and many more. Check out our team of doctors with a collective total of 70 million social media followers. Yes, well, number of social media followers was shown to have a linear correlation with quality of doctor in the New England Journal of Medicine in 1985. What possible sense does it make to quote the total social media following of all the doctors? How does that help me with my painful shoulder. Yes, I would like to complain actually, because I specifically requested the 6 million TikTok follower, good-looking doctor who does the dances, and instead I got some nerdy cardiologist who hasn't even made it to 500,000 YouTube losers. I am sorry, sir, but I'm afraid your insurance package only offers access to YouTube and Twitter doctors. The Instagram hotties and TikTok dancing doctors, I'm afraid, are in our premium package only, available to all holders of the Deluxe Heart NFT. I would feel very concerned about giving medical advice remotely without a robust medico-legal system in place. For example, when I do remote clinics for my hospital, both I and the patient are protected by an established indemnity structure, and I have to operate within guidelines. And I imagine in the US, state licensing laws also make this quite complex if the patient is somewhere else. Giving people health advice, especially those who have signed up through, let's be honest, a kind of parasocial enticement to have access to the doctors that they follow on social media, would ring alarm bells for me. I'm sure the people involved were moved by the charity angle. So let's take a look at that.
How is Metadocs charitable?
So first, the Metadocs NFT is going to donate $1 million from the minting process to a charity, and in addition, 20% of the royalties obtained will also go towards a charity. And that has never been done. It's all a bit vague. So if you go to the website now, you can't actually find any specific information. But when I first looked into this a few days ago, I saw that the first $1 million will go to TACA, an autism charity based in Orange County, California. And sad though it might sound on the surface, if you're going to be involved in a scheme to raise money for charity these days, you do need to check out what charity. A quick search for TACA shows that it stands for the Autism Community in Action, formerly Talk About Curing Autism. And it is claimed here on Wikipedia and on Science-Based Medicine to be a group that promotes the idea that vaccines cause autism, as well as advocates dubious biomedical treatments to cure them. The founder used to attribute autism to a wide range of different causes. She advocated for kind of quack therapies like hyperbaric oxygen chambers and vitamin shots. And in 2010, when the Lancet finally retracted Andrew Wakefield's paper linking vaccines and autism, then a spokesperson for TACA insisted that they still trusted Wakefield's research. As I believe they would say on TikTok, yikes! The other charitable intention that was hinted at in these videos, helping communities in countries like Malawi, is a wonderful goal, but just as we've come to see that voluntourism is often counterproductive, it is almost always better to donate via well-established and reliable charities that already exist. That's probably all I want to say about this, because I'm not a journalist. I've not attempted to conduct interviews with everybody involved. I don't want to misrepresent anything. This is not a comprehensive account of the scheme or the situation. I just wanted to flag how good people and good intentions can go awry, and the medical profession's relationship with social media is one I find very interesting, but it's still evolving, and I think it's instructive to look at potential missteps, particularly because I know a lot of my viewers are healthcare students about to start their careers. I teach medical and nursing students regularly. I know you guys follow a lot of these people, so might see their involvement in something like this as an endorsement of its legitimacy. And to reiterate, I'm not suggesting any wrongdoing, just a bit of caution. I've had the excesses of medical influencers on my to-do list of video titles for ages now, because like Will Smith's marriage, it's just a succession of calamities that I can't look away from. Oh, and by the way, that list of video titles or potential video titles is now over 200. So when you send me ideas, which I really appreciate, I'm not ignoring you, I'm just really slow. And on the subject of social media and medics, I definitely do want to do a deep dive into a superficial field, and that's just a purely anatomical comment, because I want to do a video on social media plastic surgeons, because some of the stuff I've seen would make the contents of this video look tame. But when I thought about how I'd cover this particular topic, I always imagined it would be about doctor influencers on Instagram hawking supplements or promoting quack therapies or toxic productivity, breaching confidentiality. But I think this NFT thing kind of demonstrates a lot of those phenomena beautifully. I'm sure these are good people who do want to do good things, but are perhaps guilty of being a bit naive, and I'm sure when they see Taka's involvement and background, they'll feel that they could have done their due diligence a little bit better and asked some details about the charity. I don't think doctors should be martyrs and can never earn money outside their job. That would be tremendously hypocritical. I've taken sponsorships on this channel. I'm also not going to judge anyone, and I do genuinely believe that these people haven't set out to scam anybody. We all make errors of judgment. But to any content creators out there, especially those of you in positions of trust, like healthcare professionals, just exercise a little bit of caution about what apparently exciting and profitable schemes you get involved with. So until next time, kids, just say no to NFTs and yes to LFTs. That's liver function tests, not lateral flow tests, and no pandemic is going to make me change my mind. Love for the OG biochemists out there. Say no to the metaverse and yes to meta-analysis. Say no to dodgy crypto and yes to cryptogenic stroke. Okay, maybe that one doesn't quite work so well. And of course, let the only pump that you invest in be the 4-chambered one right here. Preload up today. This is your boy, Money Medlife, signing off.